this one here. Okay. Market cap. Okay, there we go. All right, let me know when you want me to kick it off, Mr. Monk.
I'm good. I'm actually going to leave this. I'm going to try and connect with my hotspot to the computer and so 1 sec. I'll be right back, and I'll connect to the computer. All right.
Okay, you got it. Yes. Yes. Let me do. Let me mute off for 1 second here because it's really a lot of background noise. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I got you unmuted and okay. Where is River? Here she goes. Make co-host. Okay. So I got River as co-host, and let me unmute River so that you, okay, so River, you and myself are all unmuted. All right, great. So, okay, River, are you still on your phone? Did you connect your computer?
I'm still on my phone. Yeah, I couldn't get the internet to work. So let's see how the data goes.
Okay, so what I'll do is that I will.
Cool. Good stuff.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Bleeding Crypto's live Zoom session. Today, we have a very, very special guest. We've got River from River Satoshis, and she's going to be with us in just a little bit. Everybody wave to River. What we're going to do is that we're going to kick off the show just doing a quick market cap, kind of just give a quick overall look into what Bitcoin's current status is, and then we'll jump right into the meat of the show. So currently we are sitting at coin market cap at $248.6 billion. We got the 24-hour volume at $159.8 billion. Bitcoin dominance continues to creep between 63.9 and the 64.2 area back and forth. As you can see from the coin market cap top 10, a little bit of green, a little bit of red, so kind of indicates we've been kind of drifting sideways. And if you look at the charts, there isn't too much that's been moving, for the exception of, for some reason or another, Link just doesn't stop. But other than that, we've pretty much seen just kind of a level playing field at the moment. We like to cover the Tensor heat map, so let me just jump into that real quick. So at the moment, we have intense heat still down below at the $8,200 level and at the $8,000 level. So there is some minor heat up on top, but the extreme liquidity pools are right inside of this area here. And even though this is not a guarantee for price action to come down into these here, it has provided an insight for us in the past of where price seems to gravitate to those pools. So that's why we kind of include these in our updates, just to kind of get an idea of where the big market makers are at, where the money is at. And like I mentioned, a lot of the times the price does gravitate to those. So it's always good to have those in the back of your mind. And one of the things that I like about the Tensor heat maps is these levels here, these intense levels, usually line up with some key areas on our map. So it kind of just gives us that little confirmation that, hey, you know what? we're not all crazy here. We have some idea of where the price may possibly go. And it has a nice confirmation to know that the market makers are kind of thinking the same thing. And to prove that point, here's my chart that I've been updating not only on Twitter, but on our Discord group. And if you notice this key area here, 8,200, that was the heat that we saw at the at those maps. So we've been following this here, thinking that this may be a route that Bitcoin may take. These arrows here doesn't mean that we're going to hit here and and automatically start bouncing, guys. That's not really the way the market runs. If you pay attention to the last couple of pumps, and then when it comes back down and retrace, it kind of goes sideways for a while. But we've been watching it closely, kind of looking at some key fib levels, some key EMA levels. We're still trying to get this space between the 9 EMA and the price action to kind of close up and meet each other, and then see if we're gonna get rejection or if we're gonna start climbing up. So this yellow box is kind of our cautionary box, kind of letting people know to don't FOMO inside of this box just yet. This would be expected. Now this box can continue on a daily basis to come down here, and the reason it comes down is because the price action is actually dropping lower and lower below some of these key EMAs. And when you start dropping over these high time frame EMAs, it becomes much more difficult for the price action to regain support on those areas. And you can see that here by the 200 EMA. As a matter of fact, let me turn on my indicators on my chart, because the people on my Discord group we all follow the same color codes on our EMAs so that we're all on the same page. But we have many new followers and people on Twitter. And if you're lost on where these color coordinates are, look here on the upper left hand of my screen, and you can see the red over here is the 200 EMA, the gold, the 100, the white is the 50, the 30 is the purple, and the 9 is that aqua blue color. So at the moment, we've been finding rejection on that 9 EMA. So this is going to be a really hard one for Bitcoin to crack here. I like the 12-hour time frame personally myself. It gives me a really good sense of where kind of things are heading, and we've been following the 12-hour chart for quite some time. As this 9 EMA is getting closer and closer to that 200 EMA, if we don't regain support quickly on top of that 200 EMA and cheap bear crosses, I think that might be the catalyst that's going to push us into this area here. Now, this area here, I just had to restart my computer because it froze. So what's not on my screen here that should be on my screen is the 4-hour gap. So there's a 4-hour gap right below the 618. So here's 618. Let me zoom out. So here's a 618, and there is a 4-hour gap here, but like I said, it's missing because I restarted it. But I am looking for that to fill. Now, remember, guys, what I've told you guys on Twitter, what I've told you guys on my Discord group, gaps are not something that are 100% accurate. It has a good probability, but we have seen what it does to the price action when those gaps, especially on the higher time frames, and how well they do gravitate into those areas. So as of right now, I am still expecting some more downside into here. And then once we hit here, I'm going to see kind of reanalyze and see if we're going to be going through some consolidation, or if we're going to be hitting some of these lower EMAs. One of the things that we are keeping an eye out is this long-term trend line. So this long-term trend line, which was established at the peak of the market at 20,000, has been an area of rejection. Now, we broke through that area back in here, back on January 13th, and we kind of took it off without retesting. So as you guys know, those who are a little bit more involved with TA, breaking an area of support is usually, we want to see a flip of that. We want to see it come back down, test it as support before taking off. A lot of the times when it doesn't do that, the price gravitates back into that area. Even if it took off 20, 30, 50%, it will come back and test that. So that's another theory that we're trying to assess right now. We don't like getting ahead of ourselves. We like taking it one step at a time, as the market doesn't move in the speed that we want to. The market is not in a hurry. We're in a hurry, but the market is going to take its sweet time. And also, this downward trend line really lines up with a very key Fibonacci level that we always like to follow, which is 886. 886 has proven to be a really strong support for price action. It's where consolidation usually finds after a coin comes out to market. It dumps out, it retraces, finds consolidation support inside of 886. It's a really popular area where institutions like to load up. It's a great discount. Institutions don't buy retail price. They don't buy Twitter price. They buy cutthroat price. And 886 is a very good at cost cutthroat price. So we tend to really put a lot of stock inside of this 886 numbers. For those in the BC Discord fam, we're always making fun that when Bitcoin hits 100K, we're all going to get a tattoo somewhere on our body that says 886 for the win. Because a lot of us, we play off the 886. We have orders betting at 886, and time again, we get filled on those orders. So we all love that number. So that's pretty much it for right now, guys, for the update on BTC. Quick, we're just waiting for some more direction, and hopefully we can get that sometime this weekend. So let's move into our host. I am so excited to have River here. So let me just get in here real quick on the share. River, I would first of all thank you for joining us and thank you for agreeing to being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into crypto?
So I got into crypto. I started to learn technical analysis prior to crypto, and specifically Elliott Wave. And so I was into all of that, and I really liked the crypto charts and how they moved a little bit faster than the rest of them. And so I kind of just continued on with that. And at that time, I was doing a bit of research about, like, it was kind of like the time pre BCH fork, SegWit, that kind of time. And so I was doing a lot of fundamental research as well about how the markets go and how they move and how they react to all these kind of things. And then that was basically my start. And then
good. Now you and Lisa Edwards have a Discord group, right? You have a group of your own, and we were talking about this, guys, before the show. We're having a little discussion, and we really wanted to come out into the crypto community and kind of dispel the rumors that we're not witches. We are normal people that we love hanging out. We love having a group of like-minded individuals. There is so much disdain with the word group leader. It makes it sound like we're Stalin or something, or Hitler, and we're not. We're just people, ordinary people that share the same likes, share the same interests. We all see the.
We're just capitalists. We're profiting off the information that we have. We're profiting off the knowledge that we've earned, created, made.
Exactly. Yep. So we wanted an opportunity for you guys to kind of meet us personally, see what we're about. Not all group leaders are bad. I know there is a lot of, unfortunately, there is a lot of people that have given that a bad name, but just like with any profession, there's always those bad apples. And another reason that we started this discussion was because River has a different point of view than I, and me and her have been following each other on Twitter for a long time. And it goes to show you guys that you don't have to agree to respect each other. I respect River tremendously. She does great work. She's got her own. She's doing a great work with her Discord group. Provides a lot of information, but she does have a different target than I do. So we're gonna talk about it. We're not here to disprove who's right and who's wrong, because at the end of the day, nobody knows. We can wake up, I told River this earlier, we can wake up tomorrow, open up TradingView, and it's gonna say game over, and we're all gonna go work at McDonald's, at In-N-Out Burger. So you don't know when this thing's gonna end. But for now, let's have some fun. Let's see where the market's gonna take us. I, for one, have a hard time seeing Bitcoin back at $1,000. So what I would like to do is I would like to turn the screen over to River, and I would love to see her analysis on the conclusion, how she gets there. Because if it does happen, I have to be the first to say, you know what? The system that she uses obviously is a lot more accurate than my system, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I've got to switch my way of thinking, if I got to switch my tools in order to help me make money, I'm going to do that in a heartbeat. I'm not here to prove I'm better or that I'm too proud. I'm here for one thing and one thing only, for USD. I'm not even here for crypto. I'm here to make money. And I've told you that. I've been very, very vocal about that. I am not a crypto hippie. I'm a US cash hippie. And I will be, I will be to the day that I die. I'm not here for your 100,000 Bitcoin. I'm here to cash out and never see you people ever again. So if
exit scam.
yeah, I'm gonna exit exactly. But with my exit scam, it's gonna come with a huge warning. I'm telling you, way in advance. Way in advance. So, River, would you like to let me unshare my screen?
Yeah, I'll see if I can. I'm still on my data from my phone, so I'm not sure if it's going to cut out. So I'm going to try.
So, all right. If you have troubles, then what I'll do is that I'll take the screen and I'll kind of give you my analysis and my thoughts, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. Well, I'll try. Let me see if I can get it on working. But basically, hang on a minute. I'm just going to keep that on there. All right. So basically what I see right now, I'm not sure if you guys can see that all
yes.
really good. So I'm just going to zoom right out and show you my bigger time frame. So basically this run up to me was a very corrective structure. It was what we call an X wave in Elliott wave structure. This was really interesting because when we were sitting right here, it looks really, really small looking at it right down here. I was saying to the guys, I said, it's going to go to 11,300. And I think it's going to be within like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months.
I lost audio. I think there's too much. Mr. Mo, can you hear me?
Yeah, my internet's still really, really bad.
Yeah.
I'm on the data at the moment. I've just taken off the
Okay, why don't you do this? If you want to look at your screen and kind of just explain to us. Most of us have our own screens open, so at least we can kind of follow along. And then when your internet comes up, then we can maybe switch up into your screen.
I might actually try and connect back to my 5G, see if that'll work again, because I'm on, I don't know if it'll take me out, but anyway, I'll join back straight into the link if I do lose connection. So I'm just going to try that.
Don't do that. No, I'm just kidding. I think she froze up. I'm frozen, but I mean, I see her frozen. I don't know if anybody else can hear me. Okay. Okay, we can't hear River. So let me just send her a quick little, you are frozen. Can you hear me? All right, so let me do this. I'm gonna take the screen for right now, guys. And let's see if we'll give her a minute to reconnect. And let me share that right there. So we'll take that. Does anybody have any questions while we're getting started here? Does anybody have any questions? You folks listening on YouTube, if you have some questions, please put them in the chat box. I cannot see your questions, so I have I'm going to have those sent to me through Zoom. So if you have questions that you want us to cover, please do so. Let's see here. Oh, she's back. Okay, so River is back, but I can't hear. Let me make sure I make her as co-host. Give me 1 second. No, she's still co-host. Okay. I see her on my list. Can you hear me, River? You can? Okay. I can hear her, and she's not muted. So, all right. So let's do this. Mr. Mo, do we have any questions on YouTube that we can at least, for now, answer some of those?
Yeah, let me check.
Okay.
Panama Crypto, when moon.
Of course,
Chris
my buddy Panama.
Is BT still going down?
Did you? We kind of cover that right now, but I don't know if you heard the.
Okay, so River is on YouTube, and she says her internet cut out. She's using her phone data, so we'll give her a minute, and maybe she could just reconnect, and we'll get her back in here. In the meantime, we'll look at unmute. She says unmute. Okay, hang on 1 second.
Okay.
She's already in there.
I show her as unmuted on my end.
She's another
There
one.
we go.
Okay,
I'm back.
yeah,
You've got me.
got
on
Oh,
mute
there you
now.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
I'm still on phone data, so I don't know how long that's gonna last because
Oh, that's okay.
No worries.
stupid Brazil. Can you believe it? It rained like a little bit today, and for some reason there's no internet now. So
Right.
and it cut out right as after we had that test video. It cut out exactly like as I tried to get in again. But anyway, going back to the topic and the subject and Brazil. Anyway.
Okay.
So your analysis at 1300 is based on a certain structure that you have on Elliott wave, correct?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I basically what a lot of my analysis is really based on the fundamentals as well. So I take the fundamentals into account when I'm looking at Elliott wave. When I look at Elliott wave, because Elliott wave is basically it's a whole heap of probabilities. It's a whole heap of like rules and structures and more likely scenarios than another one. And so the way that I really do it is using the fundamentals of a product and of whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. And I can because it's always, you'll always see the Elliott wavers and they always have like a second count, right? So they always have like that second like backup count. I'm sure you've seen, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the way that I kind of work it is that I use I do a lot of research. I dig right into the chart. I dig right into the research of whatever it is and the fundamentals, and basically I just go for it. And I forecast. I trade the forecast. I do the long-term swing trades. I don't really go into at all the short-term scalps or day trades or anything like that. I'm very much a swing trader. So sometimes trade will last a week, sometimes trade will last 2 months. It depends on the trade. So but yeah, so it is subjective in a way. Someone just commented that, and it definitely can be. But what I can say to you is that 99% of the Elliott wave traders or forecasters or whatever else that you see are not really in tune with the rules. They're not really in tune with the fundamentals of what they're charting. They're not really in tune with a lot of that. And so in that kind of way, when I'm doing my analysis and all that kind of stuff, and I'm using the rules and I'm zooming in, zooming out, whatever, I really I try to focus as much as I can on the daily chart. A lot of the guys love to get into the 5 minutes and 30 minutes. It's not my thing. I don't really go lower than 1 hour with that, because it's too much work, it's too much stress, and you have a much similar outcome trading the higher time frames and just kind of sitting in it than if you were to have that higher risk every single trade you enter and exit. So not to mention fees as well. But yeah, basically
a few people that I've heard with similar targets of 1300, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's because the fact that we broke out of it there and we didn't retest it. Is that part of your belief also that we are going to retest that area? As a matter of fact, let me pull up a chart. Let me pull up a chart in there real quick, just so I can kind of look and see what have bits.
Oh, I think we've topped now, by the way, like that 10K, 10,500. I think that was very much the top for us. So
if we go back into, I went too far. So this right here, let me open this up. You know what? Let me take this volume out just to get a little bit more real estate. Let me take the volume off of here. Let me take these fractals. We don't need any of this stuff here. Okay, perfect. So this would be, oh.
It's shared. I can see, well, I can see it.
You can see it? Can everybody else see my screen?
Yeah.
Let me look at the chat box. Anybody else? Can you guys see my screen? Yaz? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, perfect. All right, perfect. Let's see here. I think this is the 1300. Okay, that's a 1700. So the 1300 was pretty much this area here when we broke out. So that was resistance there. And let me just put a line on here for the audience. All right, so let me open it up just a little bit to make it a little bit easier for people that are on smaller devices. So this area here, we did find, I can see where we found that resistance. This is the weekly chart, guys, by the way. So we came up, we found resistance here, resistance again, kind of came down, came back up again. We stood there for another 3 additional weeks. And I see what you're talking about, where we broke up. And I've seen this type of analysis from Tone Bay's. And that's his reasoning, because I used to listen to a lot of his shows, and when he would explain that, he would always come to this area here. When we were back at 3,000, he was saying, we're gonna come to here because of this fractal right here. We basically never came down and actually back tested that, where almost every other step we broke out of it, like this one here. This is a perfect example of a back test. We took off, we checked it, and then we took off to the moon. But I don't know. When I look back personally,
but this is also very much a bubble too. Like this was Tether fueling, Bitfinex fueling. This was a whole heap of other things that the bubble burst, very much so.
So you think a lot of the run to the 20,000 was just a lot of Bitfinex, a lot of Tether,
a lot of manipulation? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, is there in the Elliott wave analysis, is there an invalidation point? So when I'm doing,
absolutely.
What's the invalidation number or point that you would say when you look at the chart and say, okay, we're going to $1,300, but if we hit X amount, that invalidates that move, and we're going to see a reversal. What would that be to you?
Well, basically, the invalidation point would be at the moment heading basically above the previous high at about 1,400. So if we could manage to do that, then I might reconsider a different count. But basically at this point, my short-term invalidation is about 10,900. So I'm trading the short right now. We're all on the short. We shorted the top right there. But for me, this is it. This is the time to that it will keep moving down. But surely, if it does end up moving up and break that, then it definitely invalidates my count. But
yeah, and it's funny because that's it. Your system's completely different than mine. And yesterday we had a Zoom session, and I said the exact same thing you said. For me, we're in a downtrend, and all we're doing is just making lower highs. And I told for me to say that we're breaking this downtrend, we have to break this prior swing high. Once we break this prior swing high on the weekly, the higher time frames, then we can say the trend is now reversing, and we are now heading into a major bull market. And I think that once we crack 14,000, I think 20,000 is gonna be right around the corner, and I think that's when FOMO is gonna come in. So I think that anything below 14,000, all we're really doing is another lower high. But here's the thing with me, that I'm looking at the market, the way I do my analysis besides the TA is I'm kind of looking also at the overall picture and the adoption that we have now in the money that's coming into crypto.
What money?
Well, all these companies using,
which companies?
Well, all the news. You know what? I'm not a fundamental. I'm not a fundamental trader. So as far as naming specific companies, that I can't do. But one of the things that we do in our group at the end of the show is that we go over all the news. So we have all these headlines that come in, all these companies, partnerships. Like say, for instance, the ones that I remember is
you mean like
Google and Link and HBAR, Microsoft with VIA and with all these other companies. And again, I'm not a fundamental trader, so I'm not well versed in it. But all I see is from a distance, standing back, and I'm looking at these companies and the money coming in and looking at some of the liquidity pools on the heat maps. For me, I have a hard time believing that if money is coming into crypto, as they say in those articles, if we go to $1,000, I personally don't think crypto would recover. I know diehards. I know diehards, say, oh, if it goes to 1,000, I'm going to sell my house. I'm going all in. Me personally, if it goes to 1,000, I would be very, very cautious about going back in. I mean, at 3,000 was a pretty significant level. I mean, and people 4x it from 3,000. Now, in my mind, if we were going to 1300, we would have done it during this entire period. This was the perfect time, and we didn't. So I don't see us going back into those areas. I really think crypto as a whole won't recover from that. There'll still be cryptos. There'll see people lingering around. You've got those die-hard nerds, but I don't see anybody taking crypto seriously after going from 20,000, talking about the bull run coming, and then hitting 14,000, and still talking about all of this adoption going on and all this other stuff.
Right, but what adoption are you really talking about? Because like when you talk about crypto as a whole, like what is your perception of the future of what crypto can possibly bring? Give me a little bit of like what do you think, like number go up and everyone gets rich, and then
let me tell you something. I'm the last person you want to ask that, because
so let me tell you something then.
Because I don't believe in the hope of adoption. For me, right. I'm very old school, so I'm like, show me the money. And like I mentioned before, in crypto Twitter, I'm very, very open. I'm not. So
do you have long-term holdings of BTC and other shit coins?
Yes, but they're long-term in the sense that the moment that we hit a high that I'm comfortable, I'm cashing out. I'm not.
And what if we have already hit the high?
Then I'm screwed. then I'm screwed. But I do believe that we're going to hit all-time high again, and that's what I'm trading. Now, obviously, if we come down into a certain area and I break even and I cash back out, all I lost was a lot of time. All I lost was a lot of people that I got to meet, a lot of friends that I made. So it won't be a complete loss. But for me, you know, I'm not the type with the hopes and dreams about adoption and all that. We're far from that.
What I want to ask you is, have you ever used BTC?
No, and I think it's stupid to use BTC. To
right,
be honest
it
with
is stupid to use BTC, isn't it?
But you and I have two different reasons for that. Your reason for stupid using BTC is because you don't believe in BTC, and
why? Because it doesn't work.
Yes, but it works to make money. So
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. If you trade,
just the entire use case and entire reason that exists is for speculation. I mean, is it just a gambling platform?
You're absolutely
because
right.
What Bitcoin? Have you read the white paper? I wonder.
The thing is that I don't care what the white paper says, because I'm not in it for the tech. I'm not a technical person. I'm only.
But maybe if you knew more about the tech, you might be into the tech.
No, but I wouldn't care about it because the only thing I'm into is money. So for me, I could care less what it's. I don't care if it.
But why would price continue to go up after the bubble has burst? Why would the price continue to go up just like to 100K or as whoever else says? Why would the price continue? Why? What fundamental reasons does it have? It doesn't work. If you can't have more than 3 to 7 transactions per second on BTC, which means that no more people can enter the network. It means that people have to leave the network to be able for more people to enter to use the network. Otherwise, mempool gets stuck.
Yeah. Well, you know what? To answer the question on why I believe that BTC, it's stupid to use BTC, because for me, this is how I see it. I'm a believer that it's going to go up. So, for instance, if you were to buy a car right now with 1 BTC, and you buy some old.
Can we mute this guy, Yaz? Sorry.
Yeah, hold on, give me 1 second.
Sorry, Yaz.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, the way I think it's really dumb to use BTC is because if you go right now and you take one of your Bitcoins, and let's just say Bitcoin, for a round number, is worth $10,000, and you go buy a car because your car broke down and you trade a 1998 Honda Civic or whatever car it is, and you paid 1 Bitcoin for it because right now the USD value is 10,000, and you trade it. In 2 years from now, if Bitcoin hits 30,000, you're going to be known as the idiot who paid $30,000 for a piece of junk.
But you're not, because with Bitcoin, you have the power to earn, use, and spend, and continually, continue topping up. And the way that Bitcoin was meant to work is not for everyone to hoodle it or hodl it and wait for the higher price, because without utility, it has no value. It cannot be a store of value first until it has real world utility.
Yeah, I guess when.
Go
ahead.
Go.
No, I guess when you view I guess it goes back to the same question, well, the same statement that everybody views crypto differently and everybody's here for a different purpose. So if you are here because you want to adopt a certain coin or a certain project, I can see your reasoning.
It's not about a certain coin or anything. It's about what works and what is actually capable of doing exactly what Bitcoin was intended to do, 11 years ago. Basically Bitcoin is intended to be, the new digital currency, the new digital cash that can work seamlessly, that can compete with Visa, just to get the super basic things. It's to be, Visa, BTC cannot compete with Visa ever. Do you know what happened to BTC? They started to actually take out all of the OP codes, the opcodes, and actually remove all of the features that made Bitcoin Bitcoin. And what Blockstream did is they came in to, take over the code and hijack it. They took away all of the features of BTC, of Bitcoin, what it was back then. They added in all these side chains. So now you've got like Segwit, now you've got like Lightning coming and all these other things that are being built on, the sidelines. What it actually does is it takes the revenue away from the miners because one, you have a maximum block size. So 3 to 7 transactions per second on average is not very much transaction fees, but every 4 years, the block size, the block reward, it halves. So if price doesn't go up, there has to be that replacement for the transaction fees, or else there's no miners to secure the network because there's no transaction fees coming in that are replacing that block reward. That is their revenue for spending all of this money on this energy and electricity, their machines, everything that's involved with mining. They're the ones who are securing the network and validating all the transactions and all the blocks.
But here's a problem.
So if the price doesn't go up, but why would price go up if no one else can enter the network? It is literally as simple as this.
Speculation. Pure speculation.
Right, but that can't last. It's a bubble. You can't say that it's pure speculation. It's going to go to 100K and that's it. It's already burst. It's 20K was it. When we have 3 to 7 transactions per second, literally, a user has to leave the network for a new user to come in. That's not adoption.
Yeah, well, I can understand the technical from what you're explaining, but one thing that you can never take away from Bitcoin, that no one can take away from Bitcoin, is the brand Bitcoin. So
right, but BTC is not Bitcoin.
Yeah,
and it's actually illegal because it's been copyrighted. The white paper, the name, it's copyrighted by the.
Yeah, but you have to understand that 99% of the people that are in this space, they can care less about that. 99% of them haven't read the.
What does the space matter though? Like okay, let's just be really real right now.
Cash to make
but
money.
We had such a I'm not sure if you really know this, but crypto is like a little pea in a massive farm of everything. It's nothing, and all these these $1 billion market caps, it's nothing. It's actually, when you look at the real world, it's nothing.
It's so funny. It's so funny you say that because I've had this discussion before, even on Twitter and my Zoom. There's a huge look. I'm out there. When I'm out there talking to people, everywhere I go, I'm always asking people, do you know what Bitcoin is? Do you know what crypto is? The majority of people say, oh yes, I think that crashed. That's what most people tell me. And
exactly.
It's only,
and why did it crash? Because it was a bubble.
But here's the thing, that it's only, for me, and most people that are in this space, most of them, not all of them, are in here for the same reason that I'm in here. We're going to try to trade this for as long as we can. If and when we get adopted, great. Honestly, by then I'll probably be out of it because I'm using it for.
But trading is not a real use case. Before stocks exist in NASDAQ, before the stocks exist, there has to be a real company behind that, someone who's actually building stuff. So to be able to see, it's an amazing thing. We've had this opportunity for the last couple of years to trade, these very volatile assets, and most, some of us profit off that, but it's not something that's going to last forever. And I think that this year is going to take you by a big surprise, and maybe give you a little bit of a reality check. I don't know, because it's not real. Like all this stuff, it's Binance, Bitfinex, Tether, all this stuff. It's all big money laundering companies. They're all just funneling in all this money from child slavery, from women trafficking, from drug trafficking, from weapon trafficking. This is where all the money comes from. This is what Tether is. It's money laundering.
But you know what? So is USD Cash, and we all want it. We all use
Well,
it, and it's like the
cash,
best
yeah,
use case.
sure, that
and
happens,
and
but
it's the best use case in the world. And there's more kids being sold in sex slave with cash than there was with Bitcoin. And no matter what you use it, even if there's people that trade women for guns, drugs for guns. So
I
as
know.
long as there's a need for it, they're gonna do it. So for
It's
me,
illegal.
I know. And I understand, but you know what? I've been in this space for a few years now, and I keep on hearing that from people. Oh, Bitfinex this, Tether that. It's still here. Yeah, you know what? When it happens, I have no problem saying, you guys were right. But for the time being, my job and what I want to do is to try to milk it for as much as I can. If that's a year, that's fine.
But just make sure that you're on the right side of the ball kind of thing, because BTC, Tether, Bitfinex, Binance is like Binance. I tell you what, they're going to be the first one to exit scam. They're going to be gone in a couple of months. I have no doubt on that.
I don't see that for one reason only. Greed. They make too much money. Why would you want to exit scam?
They don't. That's why they don't.
Exit scam when you have that many people.
Why do you think they introduced margin trading? They introduced margin trading with 100. Exactly, because they weren't making any money. And now they're literally, they try to convince you to keep your coins on their platform. Why? And then they reduce your ability to withdraw. They have like all these things that go on all the time. They are getting ready to exit the market. I swear to all of you who are watching right now, if you are watching this right now and you have coins on Bitfinex, and if you have real value on Binance, Bitfinex, whatever, seriously consider getting out of there, because
one of the things that we do like to tell our members, even though we trade a lot of our alts on Binance, and I still do, is never trust one exchange. Make sure you hedge yourself. Make sure you have, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you have other exchanges. Look what happened with Cryptopia. Everybody said that, that's the king of shitcoins.
Quadriga, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mt. Gox, everyone as well. But the thing is that when Mt. Gox went down as well, there was a lot of warning beforehand as well. Exactly what's happening right now in Binance, except no one listened. The exact same thing happened with Mt. Gox. There was a lot of warning going around on social media, like they're getting a bit dodgy, little this, little that. And guess what? Everyone lost their old money. Everyone who kept their money, it's gone. It's disappeared.
Yeah, but it happens even in the real world. Look at Enron. It happens in the real world. You cannot. For me, I can't go around worrying about, oh my God, this is my collapse. Oh well, this is my collapse. If I do that, I'll live in a bubble. I'll never leave anywhere. Never go anywhere. It's all about.
You are living in a bubble. I'm sorry to say, but you are.
No,
this is a bubble. The bubble has burst already. You just don't know it yet.
See, you know what? If it has, then you know what? I like I mentioned before, I was able to learn a really cool trade. I met a lot of good people. I made some good money, and I'm fine with that. If it doesn't, are you prepared? If it doesn't bubble, if you're wrong, I'm prepared. If I'm wrong, I'm fine. If you're wrong, are you prepared for that?
I'm telling you what, I am very well researched in all of the behind the scenes kind of stuff that goes on with all this. And I would very much doubt if I was wrong. However, yes, you know what? If I'm wrong, I'll take that on the cheek. I don't have like anything that I couldn't live without, invested in whatever. But what I'm trying to say to you is that,
you're betting on the down, I'm betting on the up, basically what it comes down to. Okay, all right. So right now you are not betting because that's what we're doing. When you're trading, you're betting.
Well, I'm short. I'm short right now. Yeah.
Okay, you're short. Okay, all right. Yeah. So if it turns around,
10,400.
Okay, so if it turns around, passing the 10,000, the 14,000 mark, like you mentioned before, that's your invalidation point. At that
for
point,
me, my short-term invalidation, my stop's in profit, so I will reevaluate anything that happens.
Oh no! I don't mean about your profit or about your trading personally. I'm talking about like your overall perception of, because you said that there's no value in it. The bubble has bursted, but there's got to be a point where we're going to cross, and people say, you know what? There is a value. I'm sure there's going to be a point where crypto hits, because I'm gonna believe that crypto will become 100,000. That even Warren Buffett would be like, damn it, I shouldn't have sold that BTC that Justin gave me. If
why
he's
would it
still
go
around.
to 10,000 at 100,000? Why would it? Why?
Pure for the same reason
Right.
it went. For the same reason it went to 20,000. Speculation.
Who's going to buy
FOMO.
BTC at 100,000 or even 60,000 or even 20,000? Again, no one's going to buy BTC at 20,000. Doesn't
FOMO.
work like that.
The general public will.
It has
Same
no
people
utility. Why would it?
Because the hopes and dreams that it's going to go to 100,000, it's going to go to 200,000. When people bought at 20,000, they bought it thinking it's going to go to 40. So if Bitcoin's at 30,
Yeah, because it was
they're going to buy
hype.
it at
It was
30.
bubble. Yeah, that
Yeah,
happens
but-
in a bubble. People's emotions get involved in their their impulses,
Yeah.
and that was pure impulsiveness. That was something totally different to what we're seeing now.
One of the things
Greed,
that
exactly as the people are saying, greed,
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
greed.
And
Yeah.
there's a really cool interview, and I'm sure you've seen it. And I always think back to that when people say that there's no use for it, it's a bubble. There's an interview with Jeff Bezos about Amazon, and it's funny because the comments that people say about crypto are almost identical to what they said about Amazon. There's Barnes and Nobles and Borders.
Yeah,
Who
but
the hell's gonna
Amazon is
want
a working
book?
company. No, but it's totally different because Amazon is actually a company like that actually
Yeah.
has things that they're building and making. And yes, Amazon said it as like a bookstore or something. So they built their way up, but they actually had a product. There was something real. BTC does nothing. It does nothing. It doesn't facilitate payments. It doesn't facilitate anything.
But you know what makes it
doesn't
real?
work.
But you know what makes it real? That if you learn TA and you put $1, you can take 2 out. The moment you make money on
Right,
crypto,
but you can
it
also
becomes
lose
real.
that dollar
Yes.
too.
And most people will lose it. And
Exactly.
most people will lose it. But the thing is that when
Who
the
gives a shit
moment
about the use case? My gosh, you
but-
guys.
but the moment you make money on it, it becomes real to people. And that's the thing. It becomes real. Everybody becomes a trader. Everybody thinks they can make money on it.
That's the worst possible thing that can happen.
You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the
Right.
choir, which is why in our Discord group we try to preach education, see both views. No one has the full answers. Everybody sees the market differently. Prepare for both scenarios. So nothing you're telling me is new to my listeners. Nothing is new to me, especially myself. Like I said, I'm not a diehard crypto person. If I was, I would say buy Ethereum. No, I'm just kidding. I had to do that.
Ethereum, really? They don't even scale. There's no.
Look, but again, you're looking at it from a different perspective. You're looking at it from a technical perspective.
No, I'm looking at it from all perspectives. I look at it from the
from
chart.
an ROI. I'm looking at it from the possibility and the ROI. Just making it to all-time high for me is what brings Ethereum home. That I have a chance to make more money. I get your point. It doesn't scale. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. That's where you and I will have a hard time agreeing because we're looking at it in two different ways. I'm looking at it
But
to
I
cash
look at it
out.
from the chart as well. I do that as well. I think you don't really get that point. Is that I do that as well. I trade and I cash out and I make money off the speculation as well. And
but
but
we're
I
continuing
am
to make
involved
money.
with it a little bit more.
But even in this bubble, we're making money. We're making money.
Right. But if you're on the wrong side of it, thinking that it's going to go to 100K right now, like you're fucked, mate. You can make money being short.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, like I said, one of us is going to be right. One of us is going to be wrong. And that's kind of what we're here for. We're here I wanted to hear your point of view on why you think we're going to go to 1300. And I wanted you to understand my point of view.
No, I think we're going to go
Yeah.
to zero. Like, I don't think we're going to go, I think we're going to go to zero. Like, it's
Well,
not about 1300. I think that eventually, I think that probably within the next 18 months, it'll be worth $500.
You know what my Discord members are going to call you? Dream crusher. And you know why they're going to call you that?
Cheers.
You know why they're going to call you?
Why?
Listen to me. You know why they call you that?
So
Because
buy
in
Bitcoin, not this fucking
listen to me.
shitcoin BTC. Yeah.
Listen to me. In every Zoom session, I'm telling them to stop buying these low cap shit coins because
Yeah.
they're going to go to zero. So when
Yeah.
you say that right now, you've just taken the crown of Dream Crusher and putting it on yourself. So there you go.
All those shitcoins will go to zero, by the way.
Yeah, I tell them, you know what? I tell my members, crypto is risky enough. So if you're going to invest money that you can afford to lose, at least stick with coins with high liquidity, high market cap that have less probability of crashing, like some of these coins that you see people pump on Twitter that are market caps are 7 million,
Right, and
or
all
4
those
million.
people are going to end up in prison because it's illegal manipulation, and it's all on chain. Wow, it's
Yeah.
all on the blockchain. It's really crazy, isn't it?
I could care less if each one of those goes to prison and does life, as long as I cashed out and I made money on them. That's really all. I know it sounds shitty, but that's how I think. That's all I care about. All I care about. I know there's a lot of people that hate me for that too. I know my buddy Crypto Stash. He's a hardcore he's a hardcore into adaption. Me and him have this conversation all the time. Great guy, great content, great channel on YouTube. But he tries to use Bitcoin as much as he can, and I'm always telling him, stop doing that. You're giving away your money. You're overpaying for whatever you're buying every time you use BTC, because in the event that you're wrong and it does go to $50,000 or $200,000, you've overpaid 10x on whatever you buy. But that's not for him. That's not the point. For him, it's about trying to push that adoption forward. Where for me, it's about trying to keep the money as much money as I can. For you, is about something completely different. But at least I understand your point.
I'm in it for the money too. I'm here for the money.
I totally respect your point. What I would like to do is take some questions from people. My chat little illumination thing is going off the hook. I got 77.
I can see.
I got 77, and I haven't once looked at it. So, guys, look. I'm gonna answer some questions. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the top. And remember, guys, be respectful. We all see the market differently. We don't have to agree. As you can see, me and River have two complete opposite views of the market and beliefs, and we're in it for two different things. So, but there's no reason why we can't keep it civil. So, let her.
Can I butt in and
They're
give
asking
you a
you
little?
to did I not let you talk? Somebody said to let you talk. Did I not let you talk?
You're just a chatterbox.
See,
It's all good.
Bobby says he does agree that Bitcoin will die, but lots of so-called shitcoins will make it.
No.
It better have utility. He probably meant to say they have better utility. I hope BTC dies and lets real utility take over. You know what?
Can I just pop in here a little bit, just to explain a little bit of things. So basically, as soon as Bitcoin or BTC, what you call Bitcoin, as soon as BTC hits that kind of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 mark again, miners shut off. There is no more hash power. They're done. They're not profitable anymore. They're turning off the hash, nothing more, it's done. Close shop, find something else to mine. When we're talking about what Bitcoin actually is, when you talk about what the white paper says, we have the Bitcoin white paper that outlines all of it. You gotta read through it. I actually have a video on my YouTube if you guys are interested in watching about.
Let me interrupt you for just 1 second, because I want you to explain that to me, because like I said, I'm not a technical person. When you said that if Bitcoin drops to 3 or 5,000, that the hash
miners
rate,
gone. Miners are gone. They're not profitable anymore.
Okay,
yeah.
So
who protects the network then?
So why didn't it shut off when we went to 3,000?
Because they actually did for a little while, and they were, as soon as it basically broke that 6,000 region, that was why, because the miners turned off shop. They were like, fuck this shit. But we went to 14. But we went to 14,000 last year. Yeah, you bet we did. You bet we did, because it's Tether.
So how did it recover?
But it's not. That's a correction. It's not a recovery. It's not an impulsive wave. It's a correction of a market, which always happens. If you drop, basically 90%, 90 whatever percent, you're gonna have a correction up. 60% whatever of that. It always happens.
What I'm referring is to if Bitcoin will shut down at $3,000 to $5,000 because of the hash rate, and we already did that once.
Yeah, they turned the hash power back on as soon as it got more profitable. You can see that there was an accumulation range around that 5,000-6,000 range.
Okay.
That was when the miners turned their hash power back on.
And you don't think it'll happen again if we go down to 3,000, that they will bring it back up? You think from there it goes to zero?
You think that if it goes to 3,000 again, it can recover?
I think it'll have a really hard time, to be honest with you. Even though like I said, I'm for crypto because of the possibilities of making money. I think 3,000 would be anything below 3,000. I think it would break Bitcoin. To me, it would break the market. It may not.
It would.
Am I?
It will. No, it
Am I be
will.
wrong?
It will break the
Because
market. Yes.
I'm thinking about it again. I'm thinking as an outsider, psychologist, because I don't consider myself an
Basically, our
insider.
last support right now, if we're talking about the parabolic advance support, which is a major support, last one it lies around 4,500 right now, $4,500, $5,000. That's the last support that it has. Basically, as soon as it breaks that 4,500, done. It's done. It goes to $500 in like a week. I'm telling you right now, it's done.
So Bobby says that you are drinking and I'm not. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So can
Yeah,
you allow me?
drink.
Can you allow me?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Can you give me 10 seconds?
People think I'm drunk, but this is my first glass, and I'm just eccentric, and I love to chat and be here. But
Okay.
yeah.
Let me get an opener. Let me get an opener here. Hold on.
Rivers is psychic. I just use Elliott Wave. People think that I read tea leaves. My gosh.
Isn't that what Elliott Wave is? No, I'm just kidding.
It's tea leaves. Yeah, it is. That's what everyone says, right? It's just tea leaves. I get out my crystal ball in the morning.
Okay.
I'm like, what is the market going to do today?
So Lisa is asking, just curious, why do you think it's going to happen this year?
This year? Oh, well, it's in the
Yeah.
chart pattern to do that. But also a lot of things are coming. I know a lot of legal issues are coming, will be happening this year. There is, let's say, there's a Tether lawsuit going on right now. There's Bitfinex lawsuit going down. There's Binance, which is basically just about to exit scam. We've got a whole heap of things going on with like the confiscation of coins and illegal activities that are being investigated right now. So basically anyone who's committed crimes on BTC or whatever, we're starting to find out like those Silk Road people. So that's all starting to come on down. It's been a long time coming, but that's starting to really happen this year. We also have a lot of copyright things. So, probably the Bitcoin name will be stripped from BTC. We have a lot of different things coming, but basically at the fundamental level, there is no use case for BTC. There is no possible way that it can, no matter what the speculation is, you get that run up to 20,000. We had transaction fees of like $20 to $50 per transaction. And it didn't matter how much we were sending, it was like $50 per transaction. And so you get to that point where you have so many people wanting to get in because it's a hype, it's a big thing. It doesn't work. You cannot get above that range because there's not enough ability for more users to get into the network.
I understand what you're saying because I used to use BitPay a lot. And I would send Bitcoin over there and I would be screaming out the top of my head at the amount of money that I would pay. When I would transfer money over to Bit, they would ream me on fees. That's why I love Ethereum. Ethereum was fast and it was cheap. Regardless of what you think of it, it was fast and cheap. So that's how I would transfer my money until I started using USDC, which I think is really, really good.
Yeah.
It's Coinbase's stable coin,
Yes.
no fees, nothing. So, but I totally get you about Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't like it. The only thing I like about BTC is the fact that it brought us here. It brought crypto here. Other than that, if it disappears, I don't give a shit as long as we made money on it.
But maybe there's still a Bitcoin there underneath there somewhere that you haven't quite discovered yet, because the white paper, what is written in the white paper, was just reinstated with Genesis.
Do I care? But do I care? No,
but
I really don't. I really don't. If it disappears, and you know what's another thing that most people know about me, one of the reasons I don't like Bitcoin is I think it's so stupid that an entire market it gets affected because Bitcoin has a burp
because it's all
goes down,
unregulated.
And the entire market comes down.
Because it's all based on Tether. And what is BTC propped up by? Tether. It's all controlled by Tether.
I get you. I definitely agree with you on that. I definitely agree with you on not on the fact that it's pumped up by Tether, but on the fact that I could care less if BTC goes to zero. I really don't care. As long as the rest of the companies can still stay here so I can rape them for as much as I can, I'm happy. Why in the next 18? Okay, we answered that. What is a shitcoin? Bobby's asking what is a shitcoin. A shitcoin is basically
everything.
Yes. Everything's
with zero utility. Yeah.
Anything that has a white paper is basically a shitcoin because there is no product, there's no nothing. All it is somebody wrote a piece of paper with hopes and dreams and peddled it onto a bunch of hippies that said, "Oh, this is going to change the world," and everybody got together and held hands and sang kumbaya and believed it. They shoveled that crap to them, and that's up to them. So until there's actual adoption and actual use and people, and you
But
go
why would
out
adoption
to a
happen
party.
if no one can enter the system and no one can use it? There's no possible way for.
But you know
for,
what?
what use
you know,
cases do BTC have
see,
that can change? What use cases does
we don't-
BTC
we don't-
have
but
that
the
can
thing
change
is that
every
we
single
don't-
person's life? Do you
but
think
the
every
thing-
single
the thing is
person
that we
wants to be a
don't know that.
speculator? Right.
But we don't know that because new technology is always advancing. People
But
say the same
I
thing about the
know
internet.
that there is being developed lots of incredible technology on Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is not BTC. There is
Yeah,
so
I
many
know.
companies building really, really amazing products that will change the world on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
But BTC is not, it doesn't work. It just simply does not work. You cannot build a company, a business
But
on BTC.
we're not talking about BTC. We're talking about crypto in general. I think there
Right,
will,
but crypto in general is
companies
irrelevant.
will come out. I think companies will come out.
How do you imagine a future if you have one coin, like one some ERC token bullshit, on for every single use of every single day? You think that you're going to have a wallet with 10,000 shit coins and you're going to be able to interchange them and use them and that's going to make life easier? It's not.
I think as technology advances, just like in the .com era, these companies are going to die off and only a handful of companies are going to be left.
I know the one that's going to. There's the one that people are building actual real products on right now.
You market hard.
Well, I'm not marketing. I'm telling you the truth. I'm just being real. Yeah. I'm not marketing. I'm just being real.
I love it. I love it. I love that.
I'm trying to sell you some fucking shit coin that doesn't work.
But the thing is that see again, you're trying to you're seeing it from a completely different point of view. I'm looking more for an investment. So for me, 2,500 coins out there. Honestly, I think maybe 7, 8, if that's a lot, that are going to survive. They're actually going to do something. But in the meantime, you can take advantage of those if you pick them right to make some money and get out before it crashes. Just like in the internet, look at how many web browsers there were in early 2000. There was like 50 different companies.
Right, but it's all based on the same protocol, isn't it? So they're all have the same www protocol. Bitcoin is the protocol. When
you say Bitcoin, which Bitcoin are you talking about?
I'm talking about BSV.
Okay.
Bitcoin, which is only present today in BSV, which is the white paper as it is. Bitcoin is the protocol. It's the internet protocol. It's the www.net. It's the internet, except that with Bitcoin, you build on top of it and it's a stable protocol. It's already there for you to build your business on top of it. To be able to monetize, how to use data.
Do you realize that if you went out into the public, you went out into a forum, you went into the airport.
People know me.
No, I know, but listen to me. And if you said what you just said to me, that Bitcoin is this and Bitcoin is that, I guarantee you that not one of those people are going to think Bitcoin SV. Not one.
Right.
They're going to
because
think
you don't know what
about,
Bitcoin is.
I don't, and neither
you
do
don't,
they.
Exactly.
Neither do they. No, but that's the thing that's the point.
So you're talking about speculators specifically, but I'm talking about thousands of people who own and run real businesses, real companies who are going to change the world, who are going to put data on the blockchain, on the network for you, the user, to be able to own and take control back of your data so that you don't have companies like Facebook and WhatsApp and all these little bubble things, Google, whatever, taking and stealing your data.
And I'm not disagreeing with you.
Stealing.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you that when you say Bitcoin, I'm telling you, nobody's thinking Bitcoin SV.
I'm telling you, that's the only one that you should be interested in.
You should change the name because that Bitcoin,
no, it's Bitcoin. No, because BTC is not Bitcoin. Have you read the white paper?
You know what? Here, let me tell you an interesting analogy.
Right.
And you're going to laugh about this. My Big Mac is not Big Mac anymore. The Big Mac that I grew up as a kid is not the same Big Mac.
No, it was much bigger when I was a kid too. Yeah.
But when you say Big Mac, I'm always going to think the Big Mac that they sell at McDonald's, not the artificial meat fillers, flavoring that they have nowadays. So when you say Bitcoin, people are always going to think of the original Bitcoin logo, regardless of what it is in the background, regardless of who's running it. So I'm just giving you a suggestion. If you're trying to push your Bitcoin,
I'm not pushing anything. I'm not pushing anything. You don't have to believe me or listen to anything that I say. But I'm telling you need to do your own research.
No, I'm talking about it in the sense of using the word Bitcoin. You're not
giving it is Bitcoin.
You're not giving you're not giving that company a fair shake because
it is Bitcoin.
I understand what you're saying. I get you. I'm not disagreeing that BSV
No,
doesn't have the
what
same
is
code.
not Bitcoin is BTC. They literally stripped it of all that made it Bitcoin.
I know. Why
No,
are
you
you
don't
arguing
know.
with me? Why are you arguing with me?
I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to get, because honestly, you don't pay enough. Like everyone in this space,
But,
you don't pay
but
enough
you can't-
attention to what
but you
the
can't
real
tell
information
them.
is.
But you can't tell them to pay attention if they don't care. That's the thing. You have to
That's the
understand
point.
that.
We don't care about the speculators either. It doesn't matter, because if what I'm trying to do is stop you guys from getting totally wrecked, like totally fucking wrecked. I'm here like begging guys, just do your own research, like look into what Bitcoin is, like go there, read the white paper, go and look at something that doesn't reflect around the 100K scenario that won't happen for BTC.
Hey, Bobby, keep it down, dude. No insulting anybody, dude. I don't like that. I will kick you off of here. I told you guys from the very beginning to keep it respectful. You guys are her and I are having a conversation, regardless of what you think. I don't like that. You know me, dude. I have a very a short temper and a very bad potty mouth, and I promise myself that I won't curse. But you push my buttons.
Too tipsy. My gosh, you guys, I've had one glass of wine.
Push my buttons, and it's not going to be pretty. So let's just keep it respectful, please. Voting, getting wrecked, and buy SV. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Crypto Fetus, you know me. I have nothing. I will buy anything, whether it's BSV, BCH, Ethereum, anything that I feel is going to give me a little bit of an upper
Did you
edge.
buy BSV below $90, by the way?
No, I did not. Only because it's not on Binance, and I like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know you don't agree with me, but when Binance kicked BSV out, I sold all my BSV, and it was a mistake. I know it was a mistake because look, it shot up. It was a mistake. I'm not perfect. I make a ton of mistakes. You know what I mean?
You
But
gotta learn
I'm
how
learning.
Bitcoin works if you want to.
I
If
know.
you want to be around here for a little bit longer.
But listen. But one of the things that I did tell that we told members from the very beginning, when Bitcoin SV split and Bitcoin Cash, and they said which one's going to be here and which one's going to disappear. We told everybody the same thing. They're both going to be here. They're both going to prosper, and they're both going to make you money. Don't think that one. And people literally thought, they were 100% certain that because of the hash rate, one of them was going to die and one of them was going to go. And we're like, guys, we've seen this game before. This is just a game. I guarantee that Craig and Roger are in some island right now, drinking, laughing at all of us idiots here, thinking that one's going to survive. They both own each other's coins. I guarantee they both made coins.
They do, of course
there's
they
nothing
do.
wrong. Yeah, that would be smart.
And they have a major supply of the coins. So where do you think
Good for them.
those
Good for them. Good for them. I'm definitely not.
So who controls the market then? It's them. It's purely them. Yeah. If they want to sell their BTC and their BCH and whatever else, they're going to fucking sell it. And it's going to be dead, basically.
WWE of crypto. All right, guys. Do you have any other? Questions for River or for myself? I think this was pretty interesting. We got to see both points of view. You got to see two people that don't agree. But River, that I am very happy that you were here.
I have a great respect for you. I just wish you would look a little bit more into what Bitcoin is.
I know. Like I said, I just don't care about it enough to do it. Yeah, right. I really don't. Because I'm here for
that will be your downfall at the end.
And I'm here for something completely different. For me, I've already had a very good life, and I worked really hard, made a good life for myself. I don't want to spend the next 30 years before I die worrying about adoption, who's going to I don't care. I'm here to make money and get the hell out of here. I don't want to hang out with you guys. Maybe you a little bit. That's it. Other than that, the rest of the space can go to hell. I don't care. I'm here to cash out. So I guess, like I said, it's always about the objective of each individual person on what they're trying to get out of this space. And that's where kind of the Discord group comes in. Our Discord group is there to help people navigate through this really complicated space. Try to find out who you are, why you're here, and what your end game is. Because we all have a different end game. We all have a different perspective of what we want. We all have a different perspective of what makes us happy. Right. Money makes me happy. Technology may make somebody else happy. drinking wine might make somebody else happy. So it's always going to be different. XRP. Bobby wants to know if XRP makes it.
Unregistered security. Simple. It's really simple. It's.
Oh, you responded to him. I love it.
Yeah.
I love your language. See, that's the kind of response I give to people.
I'm Australian.
Only because you're here, I'm being I'm not.
No, fuck it. Just go for it.
Oh, you don't want to get me started. I love it. Well, I gotta have you back on.
Let's do it.
River. Thank you very much again for hanging out. It doesn't seem to be any more questions. So enjoy your weekend. Have a good time. Anything you need, you can always hit me up. Anytime you want to discuss something, anytime I'm going to bounce some ideas off you, I'm going to hit you up, and then you can kind of tell me about the technicals.
Cool.
River.
Good stuff.
Thank you. All right, guys. That is it for the show with River. We will have a Zoom session back to the Discord group in just a moment. I'm going to be posting out another link on that. I do want to let you guys know that we are planning to do a special promotion for our Discord, and I would like to River, would you mind hanging out for just a second? Could you tell us a little bit about your Discord and how people can join, and what are some of the prices and things about it?
So I'm actually rebranding next month, so I'm going to make it the River Surf School, riding those waves. We're $33 a month. It's me, it's going to be Crypto Factor and a couple of other little people in there next month. But basically I do the long term. I'm very, very focused on the long term and the swing trades, and whether it's a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, and just kind of holding your hand, trying to be patient to get those buys and those sells. But we do a lot of fundamental knowledge in there as well. We do a lot of talk about a lot of fundamentals, and it's a great place to learn how to manage your money, how to manage properly your own assets, and to be really, really safe, and
So you share a lot of material that you don't share with Twitter in your Discord?
No, the Discord is totally separate to my Twitter. Okay. So yeah.
All right, good. All right, guys, there you go. And to sign up, where would they go? Do you have a link that you can post? Is it on your profile
I do.
on Twitter?
Do you know what? I get so many bots if I post a link. So if anyone, I'm at Riverish on Twitter, at Riverish333 on Twitter. If you guys are interested in checking it out, we have a free section as well. So if you're interested in checking it out, just send me a DM on Twitter and I'll send you a link to jump in.
Okay. All right, great. So I did have an announcement for my Discord group, and River is going to laugh at this, but look, guys, I really do think that we are going to be going higher from here, and to help you guys kind of I guess how do I word it? To help you guys sharpen up the tools that you guys already know. We don't like holding people's hands. We're not a signal group. Me and River are not that. We're here about education. But at the same time, me and Mr. Mo thought it'd be kind of cool to, if you guys want to participate, and there is no pressure to do this. We want you guys, if you'd like to play along, if you have disposable income. And when I say disposable, let me make sure you understand what that word means. That word means that if I ask you to take X amount of dollars and burn it in front of me, you won't cry, you won't need it. Your baby mama is going to be fed, your kids are going to have diapers, you're going to pay your rent. That being said, we want to do a community trading platform where I'm going to take $1,000 and I'm going to openly trade it with all you guys. And we're going to pick assets that I believe that we're going to continue to move up. If you believe that River's analysis that we're going to go to zero, then obviously don't join us on that community trade. You guys are going to keep track.
Not like tomorrow. You can still trade.
You guys are going to but this is going to be a long-term trade. This is not going to be a day trade. So what we want to do is that we want to take $1,000. Each person have their own money, not send me $1,000. Each person take $1,000 allocated out of your fund and follow along with us. And we're going to post our trades. We're going to post the screenshots of the buys and the sell. And within 12 to 24 months, We want to see if we can turn $1,000 into $100,000 doing a long-term trade. There's going to be no scalping. It's no day trades. It's going to be focused on what we train you guys to do in our Discord is get free positions. So basically, we take an asset, we look at it on the weekly, on the monthly, and based on those parameters, we will then decide, pick certain ones, and we leave it there. We put our sell orders. When they hit, it goes off. We find new. We go through the same process over and over again. But I feel really comfortable, me and Mr. Mo, that we can take those $1,000 and in 2 years, get close to $100,000. And think about all you guys that want to buy a home, that want to pay off student loans, that want to buy a car. If you have an extra $1,000, follow us along. If you don't have an extra $1,000, do it with the $100. Do it with the $100. Follow the same percentages that we use to split up the $1,000. The same trades that we use. You can do it with the smaller amount. You obviously won't get there at the end to the amount that we're going to get into, but it's still fun to trade along with us. So if you guys want in on it, we're going to be starting that challenge probably late next week. And then we'll share with everyone in our Discord group. And River, I'm going to update you every 6 months to see how that fund is going.
Good
Okay?
stuff.
Okay, great. Thank you so much again, River. Everyone else, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your questions. And you guys all have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday. Monday morning, I will post my morning video brief. And then on Monday at 7 o'clock, we'll have our normal Zoom session at 7 p.m. Arizona time, which is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time until they change the clock. All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you, River, for a wonderful show. And we will see you guys on the next Zoom.